What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hoops and Cards. I'm Gary, your host. It is great to be with you today. NBA fans, basketball collectors, card collectors, that is. Maybe you collect jerseys, sneakers, autographs, posters, Wheaties boxes, Funko Pops. I don't know what you're collecting. That's none of my business, unless you want to tell me at Hoops and Cards on Instagram. Love for you to join the Discord, get involved in our chats every day, every few days, people chiming in with their deals, their learnings, prospects they're following, cards they're chasing. Shout out to Brett, who just scored the Jordan 86 Fleer rookie card in a PSA 7. That is so cool. Guys, it is great to be back with you in a season where and the NBA is front and center. Basketball, March Madness is behind us. Caitlin versus Angel, that was fascinating stuff, man. But we're talking NBA today. We're talking NBA and basketball cards in a year when a lot of people want to trash this rookie class. I did some digging and found out that some of the best rookies finally getting their chance these last 6 or 8 weeks of the season. And most of them aren't going to be in the playoffs, so you're not going to hear a lot about them. Most of them don't have big names that you'd recognize, like Paolo Banchero, obvious rookie of the year. I think so. I think so. But I did some digging today, and we'll talk about rookies right now as we go into the offseason, because you've got Court Kings that just dropped brand new release that has some nice different layers, like different level 1. That's the basic rookie card of that player that they made the most of. Then there's level 2 and level 3 and level 4 that they made fewer and fewer and fewer of those, and they're worth a little bit more, harder to find, all that stuff. You can only buy hobby boxes of those. They have great designs. I love the cards with their shoes on them, or the acetate cards that Court Kings comes out with. But Prism basketball coming out here, I believe, in the next couple of weeks, and I can get you some more details on that. But today, as we wind down the NBA season, we've got some guys that they've been big names in the hobby. They've had great seasons, but they're done. They're done. Tyrese Halliburton, you're done. Some of them are guys that maybe they heard this a few months ago because of an injury. Cade Cunningham, you were already done. Lamelo Ball, you've been done, 33, 36 games this year. Even the most improved player in the NBA, Lauri Markkanen, is done for the season, meaning Utah ain't going to the playoffs. At least I don't think they are. We're going to talk about players to think about that, hey, their seasons are pretty much done. They're probably not going to the playoffs, or they've been mathematically eliminated. Is there any opportunity to buy low while these guys are forgotten, while their teams are not in the playoffs, when they're not on the radar, even for the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes? Detroit, San Antonio, Charlotte, good luck with that. Houston, maybe. Who are those other guys that for some it might be time to sell while their name still matters for a few more days? That's why I would say it might be a good time to sell your Tyrese Halliburtons, because they could be cheaper and bought back by Yogi and by you in November. I just said Yogi. Who the heck's Yogi? Don't answer that. I would say some guys that right now, while NBA is relevant and people are thinking about it in the card space, like Tyrese Halliburton, yeah, maybe it's time to sell. Even Lamelo, even Cade, even some of the players with the Lauri Markkanen. I listed my Lauri Markkanen red, white, and blue PSA 10 Prism that I got for like $20 on eBay 2 months ago. I listed that for sale. Like it's a card I might want to have long term, but it's going to go through a down off season. Like there's that abyss in the card market coming up. And so I did my homework, people, fellas, ladies, and gents. You YouTube people can't see it because my camera's wigging out on me. I did a little bit of research. I did a little bit of digging and numbers crunching, and I found 7 or 8 rated rookies that are interesting to me as we head into the offseason. And maybe you want to buy a rookie patch auto, Court Kings, fresh faces, whatever cards you're looking for, Prism Emergent Silver. What are you after? I mean, these rated rookies, Shaedon Sharpe getting some playing time, scoring 19.6 a game over his last 9. It's not just that, it's his 47% field goal percentage. He's impressive, a high-flying dunker, fun to watch. Portland, you got to love him. Yeah, they basically put Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant on early vacation. You guys go to DNP land. We're going to sit here and make sure we get those draft picks from the Josh Hart trade and all the other trades they made. So Shaedon Sharpe looks good. He looks good. Jaden Ivey looks good. 18.8 points a game, 7 assists a game over the last 10. Ochai Agbaji starting to play more, shoot more, make more shots for the Utah Jazz, who are done. You are so done, Walker Kessler. Get that weak stuff out of here. We don't want people remembering that you were like massive, great defender, great rebounder, rookie with tons of potential in Utah. I mean, he could turn out to be, don't even go there. Sorry, that Rudy Gobert trade, Minnesota. I mean, you're hoping that pays off in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Like that better. Could you imagine making that deal and then not making the playoffs? Gah. I could just freeze right there. Man, I like Minnesota. But Jaden Ivey, yeah. Pacers got some young rookies, some young pups like Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin. Nembhard getting a lot more playing time with Halliburton now. 15.4 points a game, 6.4 assists per game, 50% from the field, 42 from downtown, 3-point range. Yikes, that guy's playing well. Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, of course, Rookie of the Year, Paolo Banchero. Everybody knows that name. His cards will be overpriced. I'm not saying go into the offseason and buy some Paolos, like overpay for a guy that's on one of the worst teams in the league and is soon to be the second option on offense. Like, he is good, people. He is. But some of these guys already have high prices, like baked in the fact that they're good, the fact that they have huge potential in their careers to be superstars. The fact that Jaden Ivey and Shaedon Sharpe, like some of these guys are very expensive already. But Andrew Nembhard, people don't know. Jalen Williams, Oklahoma City. He is one of my favorite rookies right now, and he's had a well-rounded game lately. 5.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 51% from the field. Guys, that's one of the things I look for, that we should look for in rookies, young players getting to shoot a lot. Are they making a high percentage of those shots? Because if they're not, that could be struggle bus, and they're just volume shooters. It's good to see Jabari Smith Jr. at Houston getting that percentage up, like gradually, gradually, incrementally going up as he gets more playing time. He gets more comfortable in the league, gets better at creating his shots, knows what to anticipate from the defense, all those things. You've also got Chet Holmgren. Like, that guy's not going to be in the playoffs either. So a lot of rated rookies not having an impact in the playoffs, but names worth knowing at least. Like, don't go into your box of cards or all your graded cards and start dumping these players. These are guys with good futures. And these are guys that maybe if somebody else wants to dump their cards in August or October, I would gladly take some steals on Shaedon Sharpe's, Jabari Smith Jr.'s, all the guys I mentioned, I think have decent careers in front of them. The guys with more immediate upside would be the guys that do have a chance at the playoffs right now, like a Jalen Williams or like Keegan Murray. There's a dude, if you don't follow Sacramento, Keegan Murray, I think he broke the all-time record for most threes made in a rookie season. He is sitting there with 194 threes and counting. Last 10 games, he's averaging 15.6 points, 50% from the field, 45% from 3-point range. He's good. Could that guy have a Terrence Mann breakout playoff performance for the Kings in the next few weeks? Oh yeah. In fact, they're kind of counting on it, because De'Aaron Fox doesn't always bring the heat from 3, and Keegan, he's a key piece of the Kings moving forward. So what we're talking about today is players as they fade into offseason, players that aren't making the playoffs. Are there any guys that I think would be worth trying to sell now while their value is still strong? I mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. I mentioned Lauri Markkanen. I don't know how much value Keldon Johnson has right now. I don't know what people think about LaMelo Ball or Cade Cunningham. If you like buying guys that continue to get injured and are on bad teams and have big names that the hobby recognizes their future potential, maybe there's some upside to be made there, but I wouldn't start buying them now. Like, really, I think you're going to see some good deals on Cade and LaMelo in October and November. And even then, those guys are a risk to me. Paolo, I mentioned. There's a couple of sleeper picks as I look at the playoff teams. I meant the non-playoff. You guys know what I meant. Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, that guy's playing well, but who cares? Does Houston matter? And do these stats in these games matter? When a guy has 21 points a game for 10 games, 4.8 assists, 4.8 rebounds, 46% from the field. I mean, yeah, he's playing well, but what is it going to matter in the card market? And I would say not much for a while. He was doing the same thing last season as it ended. The question is, what is Houston doing long-term with him? And how far will they go with this young core around Jabari and maybe Victor, maybe Kenyon Martin, Tari Eason? They've got some dudes, right? Keldon Johnson playing well, but he's been there before, done this before. Jaden Hardy for the Dallas Mavericks getting in a lot of playing time. He's like this year's Jalen Brunson for them, the backup point guard that can create his own shot and making like get this into your head. 58% from three, Jaden Hardy. But the question I'm asking about a lot of these guys is, Corey Kispert, 17.5 points a game over the last 10, 50% from the field, 43% from downtown. The question legit is, when it comes to their card market, if you're looking at these as guys that you already enjoy and you just want to collect their cards, cool. Like, I see long-term, there's some positive vibes here, some positive opportunity. But short-term, I wouldn't go into these thinking you're going to profit. Guys, I sometimes will do an episode where we're like, here's how to still make money in the sports market. Here's something we did that worked, or here's some buys. 5 buys is some of these are like, I wouldn't buy their cards for quite a while, like for 6 months. Some of it's to say, hey, as strong as we can feel about the potential and the talent and the performance so far about a Lamelo Ball or Paolo or Tyrese Halliburton, their games aren't going to be relevant. It's, as I make this recording, it's April 4th. Their games aren't going to be relevant to the card market for 7 or 8 or 9 months. And I can't tell you when they're going to make the playoffs, when their careers and their card values seem to spike. I know sometimes there's a spike around hype, and these guys have been hype trained up and they've performed well. Could say the same about Zion Williamson, and we will in a future episode. But then there's other teams, other players that they are on the bubble, and there's this, man, if that guy gets into the playoffs, watch out. Or if that guy doesn't get into the playoffs, watch out. Like, sell yesterday on your Luka Doncic. If Dallas doesn't make the playoffs, sell yesterday. But there are some other players that are on the bubble that we will talk about after this break.